The Pens try and avenge that tie with the Panthers early on. Ron Francis to Marcus Naslund. The Pens are up 1-0. And it would just start for the Pens. Tomas Sandstrom from the blue line. He goes top shelf. 2-0 Pens in the second. Still 2-0. Sandstrom streaking in. This time to Joe Mullen. Feeds him right at the net. 3-0 Pens in the second. Joe Mullen again. This time in front of the net. He muscles the backhand in, and he's the first American-born player to reach 1,000 points. 37-year-old Mullen reaches 1,000 with 2 goals and 2 assists. He's the 42nd player in NHL history to hit the milestone. Teammate John Cullen says, forget the age, Mullen is a freak of nature, like Nolan Ryan. Out of St. Louis, the Blues going for their 4th straight against the Kings. Third period, Kings up 4-3 and looking for more. John Druce in front of the net. Kings looking like they've got this one sewed up 5-3. But in the third, about a minute to go, Guy Carbonneau somehow gets the puck in the net. It's 5-4 Kings. About 30 seconds later, 30 seconds to go. Asa Tikkanen off the bench. That's Tikkanen to the right of your screen. He says, hey, man, I just got lucky. Better lucky than good, I guess. He gets the tying goal in, and that's the way it would end, a scoreless overtime. 5-5. The 6-2-1 Blues keep building on the fastest start in team history. Trouble for the Kings. They're just 2-5-2, despite playing 7 of their first 9 at home.
Well, the crazy newfangled NHL shortened season schedule has the Blackhawks in the middle of an 8-game, 16-day road trip, which has been just fine with them. 4 wins in the first 5 games and 3 in a row heading into Anaheim Tuesday night, where Patrick Poland was a pass monster. Checked a nice dish over to Tony Amonte, but it's Poland who goes and gets the rebound and does it again. Jeremy Roenick makes it good this time and puts the Blackhawks up 2-0. 1 of 2 goals for Roenick on the night. Ed Belfour did the job down at the other end in the Chicago Nets. He slammed the door on those Mighty Ducks in a big way for his 25th career shutout as the Hawks picked up their 4th straight win. This one 3-0. Chicago goalie Belfour.
Don Jackson, head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones, was suspended for 10 games and fined $1,000 for pummeling Atlanta Knights mascot Sir Slapshot in a game last week. The gallant mascot suffered a split lip. But the IHL also fined Sir Slapshot as well. $1,000 for working too close to the bench. Sure enough, another night, another crazy story. Other mascots rallying round Sir Slapshot. This out of Kansas City. Every available mascot in and around the Kansas City area turned out in a show of solidarity. They're calling it Gump Group United for Mascot Protection. They do stick together, don't they? Keep in mind, you only see the best here on CNN Sports Late Night.
Wouldn't even want to try to break up that union.
Button Colin Campbell's team learned to deal with adversity last year. Ed Olczyk is dealing with it this week. He's got kidney stones, his wife just gave birth, and his other child has the chicken pox. So why is Kevin Lowe all upset about this? He doesn't have the chicken pox. He just got a 5-minute major. Joe Ricci stuffed, Juno stuffed. Bondra scores 3-1 Caps. Later in the second, Sergei Zubov, Adam Graves, Mark Messier on the wing. His third, 3-2 Caps. We're tied at 4. Late in the third, Alexei Kovalev shoots. Leach, first goal of the year on the power play. Eddie Olczyk had a goal in this one, too. Only 1 of the 9 goals comes with teams at even strength. Stars and Leafs. Watch the effort by Dave Andreychuk. There's the tripping penalty. Ref arm in the air. Andreychuk continues to play. Pretty pass to Dmitry Mironov in front for the goal. Later in the third, the Stars up 1, 3-2. Pat Burns pulls Potman. Closing seconds. Moog the save. Who's on Matt Sundin, number 13? No one. Happy with a 3-3 tie is Pat Burns. Jets and Leafs. 3-2 Oilers, 2 minutes to go. Alexei Zomnov shoots. Teemu Solani tips, and it's in. Tie game at 3. Closing seconds, overtime. Billy Ranford protecting the net. 3-3 tie. Just over 10 grand to watch the smallest home crowd in Oiler history. Elsewhere, the Nordiques get a pair of third-period power play goals. Beat the Whale by 1. Hartford's 5th loss of the year, 4 of which have been by 1 goal. And Brian Bellows has 5 goals in his last 3.
He was going for the tape, Gary. I agree with you. He went off a skate, too, right to Kovalev. Grant never did have to make the save, did he? Went off the side of the net. Well, we're going to see now just how good a shape Brian Leach is in, the guy that led that breakfast club I talked about. By
Howard-Chuck. That comes McGillney. McGillney. Shot! Wide! Howard Chuck in the post! He'll have the rebound. His shot hit the outside of the net and covered by Richter. 3 chances for the Sabres. still leading it by a score of 2-1, and that close to a 2-goal lead.
Boy, a monster from Mike Richter. McGillney's shot widened it. It kicked back out front. Dale Hawerchuk rang the bell. Bing. It still bugs me that I waited before we went to break, and now we'll let you listen to it. Court Heitman providing audio extraordinaire once again this year for us. We've got microphones courtesy of Court Heitman all over this building, and it's specifically a lot of them for
Enough to control of McGillney. 3-on-3. Rangers getting back now 3-on-4. McGillney doesn't care. Goes through them all. Shot and a save made by Richter. He is a treat to watch, and Richter big on McGillney. Our Pringles storyline tonight.
Here's our Pringles replay for tonight. It is Donald Audette's goal that made this a 2-1 game. A terrific shot that caught Mike Richter in the 5-hole right between his pads.
Plenty of time left, though. Shots right now at 26-23. Rangers with the advantage there, but not on the board. With the Edmonton Oilers. The 32-year-old defenseman for Buffalo. That deflects up into the bench, and we'll check down with our own Cup winner, Al Morgan.
Two of the big names tonight for the Sabres, Grant Fuhr and Dale Hawerchuk. Now, Grant Fuhr is 32 years old, and if you remember that new agreement, the new CBA with the players, 32-year-olds can be free agents without compensation. His contract's up at the end of this year. I spoke to him before the game. He said, once I saw that there was no franchise player in that agreement, I knew I was in good shape, so he could be gone. And Dale Hawerchuk, yeah, he's a double winner. He walked out of camp this
Play. Rangers got a 2-on-1. Osborne's on the near side. In on Fuhr. Blocked. Never got it in on net. Fuhr reached out. Ended up being no angle to shoot. McGillney comes back the other way. His team changing, so he circled and left it. Nedved kept it away, but Hawerchuk's there.
Well, Adam Graves has had his chances in this hockey game. He had one about a minute ago, and from our goal cam, see Grant Fuhr robbing him and preserving this 1-goal lead.
Winter in Les Schwab country.
The puck about to throw it out here, and Adam will get the puck.
They have a habit. All three of them like to stay in deep. And he just hung on to too long.
Everything was hanging on too long with you tonight. There were others during the game. Alexei Kovalev late in the game. A lot of chances to win. You see Alexei coming up here. Look at this one. Another game saver. Actually, I don't know if you actually got this one. It may ring off something. He'd go over the blue line. Right in the circle. Shot.
Actually, hit the post.
You didn't get any of that?
I didn't get any of it.
You're not even going to lie and say you deflected it a little bit, hit the post, and goes wide?
I'd like to, but I can't.
All right, and thanks, and great start. Hope you carry on through the rest of the season.
Thanks, Al.
Okay. Gary, Bill?
Well, he was outstanding. Hard to believe that it was December 22nd that he had the surgery, and he's already back and playing this way because the knees take a beating, and he, as we said, was popping up like the old Grant Fuhr.
Yeah, Grant Fuhr is always... You don't win championships as a #1 goalie, as Grant did for so many years in Edmonton, without being ultra-competitive. And Al asked a pretty interesting question there that Grant answered. He said, yeah, he came to camp with the idea of being the #1 goaltender. I wonder what the Buffalo Sabres are going to do when this is all said and done, because they've got Dominik Hasek now with a big contract. Grant Fuhr is going to be a free agent without compensation. Nice problem to have for the season, having two guys that can stop the puck, but when it's all over, they'll be faced with some difficult decisions.
Buffalo, as their coach John Muckler said this morning to us, he likes his team, and he means that.
big. Now for the really, really big show. It's opening night. The NHL presents a midwinter night's dream. Sold out, standing room only, a black eye affair. Sure, there are some first night jitters, but it's sure to be a big hit. Oh, the drama. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's better than Cats. To break a leg, you know what I mean? This isn't a dress rehearsal. Drum roll, please. We bring up the curtain on another edition of SportsCenter. Without drinking from, dropping, hoisting, or holding the Stanley Cup. 1955, the last time the Motor City celebrated a hockey title. The Wings of '95 still have the firepower from last season, and they've added a backbone, trading Steve Chyson for goalie Mike Vernon. And Vernon would play strong and actually was applauded by a fan that usually doesn't necessarily appreciate goaltending. Vernon, the leg save on Chelios. He covers up. He faced 21 shots in this game. Sean Burr, look out. He levels Jeremy Roenick. The Wings go to work on the scoreboard. Burr shoots. Slav Kozlov there to swat the rebound out of the air into the net. The Wings are on top, 1-0. Still in the first. Paul Coffey skates in from the and his wrist shot goes in. 2-0 Wings. That was in the second. Third period, 3-1 Wings on the breakaway. Stevie Yzerman. The wrist shot. Rooftop. 4-1 Wings, and that seals it. And Steve Smith, who was ejected in the first period for hitting Burr from behind, snacks a stick. We have our first seafood experience. 4-1 Wings, the final in this one, in front of near 20,000 in Detroit. They outshot them 16-4 in the first period, did Chicago, but Detroit, behind 20 saves from Mike Vernon and a goal and an assist each from Kozlov, Cicerelli, and Yzerman, go on to win it by 3. The Penguins, minus Mario this season, playing the Lightning and playing in front of a huge crowd of 26,387. Kenny Reggett taking Barrasso's place in net, and he gets beaten early by Alexander Silovonov. That was his first goal. That was the first goal of the year. Lightning up 1-0. Tampa tries to clear it, and they can't. Murphy there to nail it home. We're tied at 1. Up 2-1. The Penguins continue to score. Sandstrom, and Sandstrom scores with the stick work. Pittsburgh up 3-1 after 3 goals in less than 2 minutes for the Penguins. The rout continues in the second period. Yager takes it himself and all the way around Chambers. And the Penguins have a 3-goal lead at 4-1. And finally, up 4-2, the brand new Penguin, Luc Robitaille. The blast! The Penguins win it 5-3, the final score. Reggett, impressive in net. Remember, Barrasso's going to be out for 10 weeks with a wrist injury. 30 saves for Reggett. Darren Pupa had 25 saves for the Lightning. As I said, 26,387. We'll have more from the Rangers. Back to the ice. The Calgary Flames were the only team in the NHL with 3 40-goal scorers. Al McGinnis, the franchise's all-time top point man, wasn't one of them, and he won't be this season. He's gone. The Jets get their rocket boosters back. Teemu Selanne played just 51 games, scored only 25 goals last year, 51 fewer than he scored in his rookie season. In his rookie season.
Here he is, this season.
Theo Fleury of Visor, and 45 seconds into the game, the Flames are up 1-0. 6 minutes later, the Jets have an answer. Ty Domi sets up Dallas. Drake tips it in. We're tied at 1. The Flames regain the lead 14 minutes into period 2. Theo Fleury, second goal. Housley with a second assist. The Flames win it by a score of 3-2. Fleury had 2 goals, 2 assists. Chyson, that guy I mentioned, had 2 assists. Drake had 2 goals. Everybody's doing 2s.
Against San Jose, Oakdalen wide open, beats Curtis Joseph. And the Sharks on the board first, but the Blues answer. Esa Tikkanen feeds the puck. Dennis Chassé with the goal. Game tied at 1. St. Louis takes the lead. Al McGinnis, the rifle, deflected in. Adam Creighton getting credit for the goal, the former Buffalo Sabre. Adam Creighton, and the Blues add another one. 3-1 the score at the Shark Tank after 1. Ulf Dahlin, the San Jose goal. Dennis Chase adding goals for St. Louis. Also Brett Hull. 3-1, Blues over the Sharks after 1.
Still to come on SportsCenter. The banner.
This is a picture that I saw. He was sucking big time wind. You don't work out too much when you're down in Hilton Head. And Messier really looks like he had the longest offseason in history. But then Mike Richter got into things. He picked up where he left off. He was terrific tonight. I mean, he was all over the place. Those 2 guys are going to keep them right in the Stanley Cup hunt once again this season. No question that these 2 guys are going to be the leaders for Dominik Hasek. I mean, Hasek, I don't know what was going on in his mind, but now Grant Fuhr has got his act together. He was brilliant all night long. He turned back the clock about 10 years. He knows he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, so this could mean some serious money to him. On the other hand, you got another old-timer, Mike Vernon. He's sort of the Moses of the Detroit Red Wings this year. They're hoping that he's the guy that leads them to the promised land in the Stanley Cup. He could do it.
Vernon looks sharp in the Red Wings' victory tonight over Chicago at Joe Louis Arena. Let's talk about Detroit, the team that now has to carry the mantle that the Rangers carried, longest Stanley Cup drought.
Back strong. He was all over the place in that game. I think Detroit has it, and I think the attitude will change. They know they really have a lot of pressure on them to produce this year. Otherwise, big changes.
I heard you on the Fabulous Sports Babe show on ESPN Radio, and I drove off the road. You think Quebec's going to get to the Stanley Cup Finals?
I think they got a good chance.
Wow.
The question mark for me, goaltending there. And the same thing in Boston, Washington. A lot of question marks at goaltending could determine the playoff picture. But Quebec is, well, they've been floundering around in last place for about a dozen years, accumulating top-notch draft picks. Now's the time for them, and that's what Pierre Lacroix is doing. He's making some big, bold moves.
All right, let's go back over the headlines. Opening night, you thought good play.
this time against Patrick Wall and the Canadians. As we go to MSG in the fight, Joey Kosur and Dotto Brashear setting the tone for this one. You knew it was going to be ugly when the two of the original teams get together. Ouch, how about that one as well? Alexander Karpatsev lets it fly through the legs of Patrick Wall, and the Rangers lead 2-1 in the second. Later in the second, Habs in the power play. Mike Richter, the initial stop, but Vincent Damphousse there to tie it at 2 after 2. Third period, all Rangers. The power play. Bryant Leach passes to Mark Messier, who beats Wall to the goal as the Rangers go on to win this one, spoiling Wall's 35-save performance with 5 scores, including 4 on power plays, as Montreal gets a loss in its season opener. Sergei Zubov, a goal and 2 assists for New York. Now the Cup runners-up looking for their first victory as well. St. Louis visiting Vancouver. There's Blues coach Mike Keenan watching Adam Creighton, who's off to a hot start. His first of 2 goals on the night, as the Blues were up 5-0 through 2 periods of play. Canucks goalie Kay Whitmore, watch this, stops the shot and then lead pass to Sean Antoski. One man to beat, and it's Curtis Joseph, and Cujo comes up big. 33 saves for Cujo, but Creighton, the big story. 2 goals tonight, give him 3 to go with 3 assists in the first 2 games this season, as the Blues beat Vancouver for only the second time in 6 tries. The Maple Leafs and the Sharks in California. Sharks feasting on the Leafs in 3 second-goal periods. Ulf Dahlen's pass finds Mike Rathke, who ties the game at 1. 24 seconds later, watch these moves. Ray Whitney just uses the Toronto defense like they're a bunch of pylons on the ice. Beaten Felix Potvin for the score, and then tied it 2 when Jeff Friesen just simply outskates everybody. Look at the teenager flying to the net. Friesen, who's 18 years young, scored the shorthanded goal that proved to be the game winner as the Sharks eke out a bit of revenge versus Toronto. The Leafs knocked them out of the playoffs last spring. At Winnipeg, Anaheim in town, and watch this. With 5 minutes left in the third period, Don McSween is tied up with Keith Tkachuk. As the two fall to the ice, Tkachuk's skate blade slices McSween's wrist on his left arm. Now McSween lost consciousness as he was being helped off the ice. You see some of the blood being washed away there. Tkachuk was taken to a local hospital, and his status for his career is uncertain. Possible tendon damage in that. As it turned out, all in all, the Ducks did win the game in this one, as they did beat the Winnipeg Jets.
I thought the days of women being treated differently.
Right. Pittsburgh hadn't been beat all season when they hit the road for a game with the Islanders tonight. And first minute of play, this is why this guy's a superstar. Pierre Turgeon turns the defense inside out but fires wide. Scoreless when the Pens go on a power play. Second period, Chris Joseph's blast. He'll tee it up quickly. Beats Jamie McClellan through the pads, and Pittsburgh's on the board. They crack the ice. Isles come back. Ray Ferraro picks up the loose puck, dekes out Ken Reggett, and ties the game at 1. And it stayed that way when the Pens turn on the pressure. Yager misses, stays with the play, and the puck gets his own rebound to Sean McEachern. And that breaks the tie. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Same combination next period. Yager scintillating pass to McEachern, who one-times it past McClellan. 4-1 Pens. Mario, not the only one gone, though. Robitaille suspended. Kevin Stevens is injured. And the goalie, Tom Barrasso, hasn't played. He's hurt. But Ken Reggett sparkled once again in net. And the Pens now are off to their best start ever, 9-0-1. Now the battle in New York. Rangers and Devils, and this was no lovin'. Let me tell you, Mark Messier of the Rangers called for high sticking, gave New Jersey a 2-man advantage, and they seized the moment. Claude Lemieux in front redirects Scott Niedermayer's blast to make it 2-0 Devils. But Niedermayer almost took himself out. Watch the self-inflicted shot to the stomach after getting his stick caught. The Rangers kept looking for offense, but whenever they mounted an attack, the Devils' Martin Brodeur was there to deny them. Still, Jersey nursed a 1-goal lead into the third period, but broke in 2-on-1 for Bobby Holik to slam one past Mike Richter. The Devils located some offense finally, while the Rangers were bottled up all night in a 4-1 win for New Jersey. In a clash of red-hot teams.
8-1. Let's get you to the ice and check out the action in that one. And round they go. Where they stop, nobody knows, but it's Adam Foote with the takedown of Brent Hughes. Let's check out some hockey now. Wendell Clark goes in deep, and a great spin move here. The puck will go in off a Bruins skate. Nordiques took a 1-0 lead. Bruins fight back. Steve Leach digs out the puck, and Mariusz Czerkowski gets the goal. That tied the game at 1. Later, it's Cam Neely. Great work in front of the net here. Cam will dive and get the goal. Game was tied at 2 after 2. However, the Nordiques get the victory. Final was 4-3. Nordiques put an end to their the Islanders a win over undefeated Pittsburgh, but it's Ray Ferraro skating in and beating Ken Wright. That tied the game at 1. Later in the second, though, Jaromir Jagr flicks it out in front. Sean McEachern with the soft touch. McEachern's first of 2 goals on the night. Penguins led 2-1. Third period, Penguins keep on trucking. Ron Francis to Jagr, back to Francis for the score, and the Penguins go on to win it by a score of 5-2. Pengs now 9-0-1. That's their best start in franchise history. A classic battle in Jersey. Devils and Rangers renew their rivalry, and yes, the fans there can get along. First period, Devils working the puck. Bruce Driver cranks it up. Mike Richter makes a save, but Scott Niedermayer rebounds and gets the goal. 1-0 New Jersey. Later in the first, Niedermayer sets up Driver for the slapper. Stepped in by Claude Lemieux for the goal, and Devils go on to win it by a score of 4-1. Sweet revenge for the Devils, who not only lost that playoff series last year to the Rangers, they also got swept during the regular season. Rangers took all 6 games, but things are changing this year. Panthers 3-0 over the Flyers. Philly obviously missed their...
Jamie Storr didn't even see the puck. It came at him, hit him. Don Hay realizing very early on that they can't get into penalty trouble. The U.S. power play moves it around pretty well. Deadmarsh finds Richard Park. Park fans on it, but manages to get a shot off anyways. This one, Jamie Storr positioned himself well, but he didn't even know where that puck was. You tell when it hit him, it took him aback that the puck had been shot.
Greer is now...
Keeps the offensive drive alive inside the zone. Goes to the net. Jeff Friesen does a remarkable job of getting this puck back out. I believe it was Alexander Daigle with a nice pass out. Persistence laying down on the ice. Up over top of Bonner, under the crossbar. Haggerty, that's another Detroit Junior Red Wing. Todd Harvey dives on this puck. Shot by Nolan Baumgartner from the point. Peterson gets knocked out of the way. No, it's not Peterson. Dennis Peterson gets knocked by. Following up the play, be Sean Donovan, number 22. Out of the play. Then that defenseman has no choice. Have to make the follow-up. Gets a little too aggressive with the hold. Jason Allison wires a shot by the post. Canada going back to the power play. Back to the point. And just as the puck was going to be scooped into the net by Jeff Friesen, Bonner scoops it away. Fitzpatrick knocks that net right off the boards.
1:18 to go in the period, 1:31 to go in Canada's power play. Don't fire till you see the whites of his eyes. Canadian forwards have been doing that. Smith, you see a scramble down in front, and it was Harvey who was actually on his knee. And Harvey shoveling the puck in with a great second effort. That was Canada's 3rd goal of the time, and they just kept on rolling.
Played excellent against Team Sweden on Tuesday, and now he'll get an opportunity to come in under difficult circumstances, although I suppose some could argue he's got nothing to lose at this point.
Here comes Quint. Deadmarsh up to the line. Here's Donovan. Taps it up ahead. Murray streaking up after the puck, and Graham out of his net. Heads off, trouble at the pass.
Coleman? Or his car keys, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Which car, though? That's a good question.
Pebble Beach winner at Chicago Stadium, the same place Mike Dr. Hook Keenan coached from 88 to 92. Thursday night, the reunion tour. Wayne banged out another building over 20,000 in his new temporary home, the Kiel Center, the very place Dr. Hook makes all his house calls. Mesmer hired by the Blues to do a couple of games this year. Early on, Roenick. Bernie Nichols, 1-0 Chicago. That's 4:41 into the first. Belfour working on his second straight shutout, denied everything that came his way. He faced 10 shots in the first and 10 more the rest of the way, and he stopped them all. Antonio Monte. Great pass. Patrick Poulin redirects 2-zip after 1. At 3-0, Dr. Hook pulls the switch. For the 4th time in 9 games, Casey in, Joseph out. Doesn't matter. Bernie Nichols blasts another one. It was 4-zip. The final was 5-0. Roenick on Mesmer singing the anthem. If you ask me, it's stupid. He didn't belong here. He belongs with the Wolves, where he wanted to go. That's Wolves as in the Wolves of the IHL. The 8:01 Penguin Express pulled into the Nassau County Coliseum. Sean McEachern past Jamie McLennan, his first. Ferraro had the Isles goal. It's 2-1 after 2 in favor of the Penguins. Jágr in the corner. Jágr out of the corner. His 8th of the year. The Pens are up 3-1. Eddie and Brian, they want more. 2 minutes, 43 seconds later. Jágr, McEachern again. They get more offense. Despite that unbeaten record, the Pens lead the Nords by only a point. Quebec, when are they going to learn to give up, said Larry Murphy. The Penguins now 5-0-0 on the road. Ray Ferraro says the Pens are a harder working team without Mario Lemieux. The Jets and Canucks doing plenty of hard work. 2 former Smythe Division rivals, Dave Manson, scorched Dino Ojic with the water. Watch Teemu Selanne here. Nailed with the late hit by Mike Peca. Selanne hurt. He had to leave the game, as did Peca. Then we have havoc. Tim Hunter tied Domi. Hunter allegedly biting Domi's hand. Read the lips. He bit me. The fighting continued. The flagrancy continued. And after that comes a threat from Ty.
Also, I gotta say,
don't dress Bury. Bury did not play in this one. Domi letting the Canucks know it wouldn't be a good idea to show up for the next time they meet. Selanne left the game with a concussion. Total of 248 minutes in penalties in this one. The record is 406 in a game between the Bruins and North Stars in 81. The next rematch.
Well, storm forward, well, no question. He'll take that one. Bounced it in, banked it in. Off of Darren Quint, the defenseman. John Graham playing the shot, playing the pass back. He made the right play. He just the victim of an unfortunate break, and Jeff O'Neill gets his first goal of the tournament.
Same thing happened at the start of the second period, and that was that goaltender John Graham wasn't all buttoned up, didn't have the mask down, didn't have his gloves on, and I wonder if that's some kind of a pre-period ritual that he has.
No, I think what it is the referee just going ahead and dropping the puck and not looking down and checking with each goal judge and each goaltender to make sure they're ready.
Graham out to ring it up around the boards. Donovan chops at it. Sharp angle. Botterill pounds it on goal. Graham trying to handle that puck. Almost got hamstrung.
Fakes like he's going to shoot. Puts a beautiful pass on the stick of Harvey, and Harvey rips a good one. A good save by Graham. This line's starting to find a lot of chemistry. They've been the dominant unit tonight. To be said for that. But this afternoon, the Swedish goaltender Jonas Forsberg came out during a TV timeout, during a television commercial, skated to the bench for a little refreshment, and was penalized for going across the blue line, delay of game. I'm trying to figure out how you can possibly have a delay of game when you're in a television commercial, but referees saw fit to call the International Ice Hockey Federation rulebook to the letter of the...
Berard hands the puck away. And what a stop. Daze was right in front of the net. And Graham somehow kept that out.
Well, he wouldn't want to call it a back-breaking goal if they'd scored it with the score being 7-1, but I'll tell you what, John Graham almost broke his back trying to make the save. Darcy Tucker had that just handed to him by the U.S. defenseman. I believe it was big Eric Daze. That shot. Graham reaches behind him. Tucker's pass across. There's the shot, and it's under the big pad, and he reaches behind to make sure it doesn't squirt out. Too aggressive. Alexander Daig was going for the play of Harvey putting it up. But Jamie Langenbrunner off on his off wing takes that shot and buries it. Number 14, Jamie Langenbrunner of the Peterborough Petes, rifles that shot by Jamie Storr. No chance at all.
Two people who do. Everyone's always asking me, hey, Mike, what's it like being a goalie? Let me put it to you this way. Get the picture?
Story brought. Overskated it. Here comes Langenbrunner going hard. Cuts in. Shoots. Storr got a piece of it. Langenbrunner cut to the outside, but Storr lunging.
Storr is to play things safe. I'm sure Jamie Storr wouldn't have thought of doing that in a 3-2 hockey game. At least you wouldn't like to think so. Sean Bates, Boston Bruin draft pick, showed good speed. A good accurate shot as Ed Jovanovski tried to wheel back in front of that shot.
Short-handed goal
for Rick Willis. He tips it toward Buzak, who clears it immediately.
No possession, but it keeps the pressure off. A check at the blue line gave Buzak a chance.
Here's Knuble walking in. Knuble shoots, knocked down by Buzak.
It'll be a tripping. Suddenly in the neutral zone, Michigan reverses the puck, heads back the other way, and here comes the penalty. It's not against Knuble. It's by Guala against Brendan Morrison right there, coming down the slot. You see the defense can't catch Knuble, but the trailer, the man filling that slot, was Morrison, and if there's going to be a rebound, he's there to play it. Guala took him down. So the second power play for 21 seconds after the first goal, the second one was in, and he was shell-shocked the rest of the night. Took some time off at the end of the second period, in which Chad Albom came in for nearly 5 minutes. But tonight, he's sharp. You see, he locates the puck. Got a long reach, long legs. He's strong, he's agile, and he apparently is on his game, which makes the pass. He didn't miss the guy. He just lagged it through what appeared to be a seam, and by golly, it almost, well, I think he maybe wanted to snap it a little faster than that, but it sure looked like it was planned the way those wingers came from the backside.
Looked like a delicate touch, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then again, it looked...
The Leafs haven't lost a game in their home whites this season, but in their visiting Blues, they have been roadkill. 1-4-3 away from Maple Leaf Gardens, and they've scored only 7 goals in their 4 losses. Felix the Cat Potvin is just one of 2 goaltenders in the league, Ken Reggett of the Penguins being the other, to have played in every minute of every game so far this season. The Wings, on the other hand, have won 5 of their first 6 at Joe Louis. Ray Shepherd leads the league with 10 goals, and the Wings are the only team in the NHL without a single player with a negative rating. The Whalers hope to strike lightning in Tampa tonight. The Whalers have given up only 21 goals in their first 9 games. Only one team in the entire league has a stingier defense, but the problem is only 2 teams have scored fewer goals. Sean Burke's been spectacular in the nets as America's team hopes to put the brakes on a 4-game losing streak. The Sharks look for their first ever win in Edmonton tonight. But San Jose's normally reliable netminder Arturs Irbe has given up 9 goals in his last 2 games, and he has been yanked from the both of them.
NHL tonight at midnight.
What do you think he's thinking about right now? Where he left his helmet? Or his car keys, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Which car, though? That's a good question.
Tomorrow, Bing.
On back. Oh, here comes Rob Gordon with a shot. Oh, what a catch made by Rob Muzak. Frank Muzak just, as he fell, reached up and picked it. Well, it looked as though Rob Gordon may have drilled one.
It looked as though Gordon got him going where he wanted, drop him down to his knees. Let's see where the puck gets to Buzak first. I almost thought it might have gone up his arm into the trapper. Let's see, up off the pad and into the trapper. He had the pad and trapper side by side down low. Rob Gordon, who was being tugged at from the back, you see his stretched sweater. But there's that concentration looking it right into the glove. Buzak. Take a look at it. First of all, Michigan wins the war on the wall and comes away with leg coming right out to the net. He scored on one of those last night, and there is the contact that spins Buzak around. Somebody behind us yelling that Buzak gets 2 minutes, but by golly, I can't see how.
That was John Madden that crashed into him.
Nobody gets 2 minutes, as a matter of fact, but most...
The glove save. Yes, it was a beauty. 31 saves on the night. Now, Montreal leads 1-0, but here comes Ron Francis, stoned by Patrick Roy, but Jaromir Jagr is there for the rebound goal. We're tied at 1. In the second, Kevin Stevens loading up for the point, just gets it through Roy, and Sean McEachern finishes the deal. They were up 2-1. Pittsburgh goes on to win 3-1. Now, despite the injuries, the Penguins win again. They are now just 4 wins or ties short of the NHL record of 50.
Game for Detroit. Now the Kings got to find one. Tocchet shot. Vernon the save. Kicked on Vernon. That wouldn't have counted anyway, but it didn't go in. Lapointe comes the other way. Lapointe 3-on-2. Lapointe dropped it. Shot. Deflected deep by Michel Petit. Tony Granato and Vladimir Konstantinov were tied up.
Well, if I were Tony Granato or Vladimir Konstantinov, I wouldn't turn my back on the other guy. Tony is really upset, obviously. Tony Granato plays like a Wolverine, and when his team is down 3-0, look out, he wants to make something happen. Vladimir Konstantinov would just soon slit your throat and say hello in the corner. I'll tell you what, these are tough guys, and they make you pay. Konstantinov is a rugged guy. That is Mike Ramsey. Look at Tony Granato. He hit him in the back of the neck with a stick, I think, and then poked him. And Tony Granato's only 185. I make 1.2 million, but 400 of it is deferred. I make 800 grand. Our team won't do that.
Fedorov for his fourth save made by Kelly Rudy. Sergei Fedorov was all alone. 4-on-4. Fedorov centering it.
Entire career, he's trying to find a way to get used skates to wear instead of having to break in new ones.
Sounds like a good idea at this point.
Yeah.
Greg Johnson battling in the corner. Robert Long trying to pull it out, goes to the point. Shot Jitnik, saved Vernon, trickled off the glove, but it went wide. Tim Taylor cleared it out. Taylor, the rookie, working on this line. Greg Johnson down the middle. Johnson shot, saved by Rudy. What a move by Johnson. Coming down the middle, Johnson again. And here they go again. Every line cycling, and a penalty coming up on Jitnik. Delayed call, wraparound. Kelly Rudy made the save, and there's the whistle. And another power play coming up for the Detroit Red Wings. The kid.
He gave Jitnik the right and then back into the middle. Kelly Rudy with a terrific save. And here is the penalty. I mean, the Red Wings have just been, it's not that they've been faster than the LA Kings, and that denotes kind of an end-to-end thing. They've been quicker. And the LA
4-on-4 situation here in the matching minors. Shot again, Vernon the save. Kicked into the corner of the net. Tocchet tried to jam it, could not. And a whistle as it's tied up by Mike Vernon. The whistle was blown. You'll see why when you take a look at this, why he was arguing about it.
Well, watch Danny Quinn's shot. Mike Vernon and Dan Quinn played together for 3 years in Calgary, so Vernon knows him, but that had a lot on it. It was a terrific save. Tocchet came and actually pushed Vernon out of the net. And that's, I imagine, why Don Koharski blew the whistle. They had a conversation. I don't think Koharski lost sight of the puck, but Tocchet's still out there.
Nothing lead for the Red Wings. 4-on-4 off those matching minors. Brought in near side. 2-on-1 chance ripped wide of Kelly Rudy by Greg Johnson. He's had a couple of chances. Johnson. Red Wings will dump that one in. Mike Ramsey sent it in as they'll change it up. Marty McSorley starts it up. McSorley's pass blocked. Good play. Brown. Brown in front. Shot saved by Rudy. Doug Brown diving. It will not count. And Kelly Rudy bats Doug Brown on the head. Brown saw the puck, and he did poke it in, but the whistle blew before it crossed the line.
I think Doug Brown was in midair when the whistle blew. And anyway, he's that kind of player, and that's why the Detroit Red Wings got him on waivers from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Doug Brown's got 3 goals and 6 assists here for 9 points. Terrific start. You talk about landing on your feet after being left unprotected in the waiver draft. And Doug Brown originally broke this play up. That's how come Fedorov was able to get it. Fedorov just laid one out there that landed right in front of Brown. See, Rudy doesn't have it completely.
It was behind Kelly Rudy.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, he made contact with that before the whistle.
That was pretty darn close. Kelly Rudy thought he had it under. Checked away. Batted through center. 2-on-1 chance. Brought back near side. Rolled in off the side of the net. Fedorov almost had 4. Sergei Fedorov and Doug Brown in a 2-on-1 chance. And he was that close to having his 4th goal. Lidstrom.
And it's even tougher if you're not a power forward. And Wayne has never been a power forward. This is becoming a game of power forward.
Jitnik's got it. Power play. Saved by Vernon. He's red hot. He hasn't had to make many, but on that shot by Jitnik, he pulled one out.
Hey, Mike Vernon's agent, I talked to him before the game, is meeting with the Red Wings after the game. Mike Vernon is a free agent without compensation at the end of this season if he decides to play out his option. Oh, baby. With saves like this, his stock is going up. The Red Wings apparently have $6 million over 3 years on the table. That's $2 million a year. Vernon currently makes 1.1. I think Vernon is going for about Patrick Waugh and Mike Richter money, which is about the 3 a year, 3.5 to 4.
We saw what Richter did last season, and when Richter just hung on and didn't sign and got all that money for taking a team all the way to the championship, Vernon, why not stay on, see what happens? You got certainly the potential on this team to do that, and if you do, you may come out big time.
Yeah.
Bigger than if you sign now. Dropped over to Marty McSorley. McSorley back, power play here for nobody else up ice here. Johnson shot, blocked. Boy, he's made some chances for himself. Greg Johnson. Quinn all the way to the point. Quinn back, Zhitnik fakes, moves in, takes the shot, save again by Vernon.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres are getting a great look at the guy they want. They want an offensive defenseman, and only Mike Vernon has stopped Alexei Zhitnik from having 3 in this game. What saves? What a move. I mean, an attempted block by Steve Yzerman, and then Zhitnik with the shot. Zhitnik just threw his stick up in the air. It's like, I can't believe it. Not again.
That's frustration, folks. Kings have done everything but score here in this. Off the face-off, Vernon. One back by Jari Kurri. Played to the middle, Gretzky. Gretzky winding up, takes it. Vernon again, knocked it away. Jari Kurri chases it down. Power play still underway here. Centering pass in front. Gretzky shot. Oh! Did he get that one too? Wayne Gretzky along the goal line, and Vernon gloved it.
Many glove saves has Mike Vernon made like that? 4 or 5? And Wayne Gretzky knows all about Mike Vernon. In the years of the Wars of Alberta, when the Edmonton Oilers, led by Gretzky, took on the Calgary Flames, Vernon was in goal for Calgary. That was going in.
Even the great one has to chat with himself on that save. Still have a power play for 14 seconds. Detroit looking. Kings charging as they pick the pace up themselves. Kevin Todd, save made again by Vernon. Todd goes to the corner against York. Third back up near side. Yzerman. Kings have 2 back. Yzerman moving in. Yzerman gets knocked down by...
Time well spent.
Those are the teams next Sunday. Jaromir Jagr already has picked up 20 points in the season. Dominik Hasek's putting up numbers in net like you can't believe. It's the Sabres in Pittsburgh. National Hockey Night next Sunday. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. You'll see it nationally. Wind up shot, the save made as Bobby just ran it right straight in and nobody picked him up. Check put on in the corner. Shepard held it in. Near side Lidstrom. Lidstrom fakes. Doesn't go after that one. Now does. Save made by Kelly Hrudey with the left pad. Rebound. Shepard gets it up to Lidstrom again. All copy back over the one-timer. Lidstrom is blocked into the seats. For the glass. Face-off will stay in the Kings' end.
Well, Kelly Hrudey has finally had to go to the molded mask. Remember, for so many years he wore just a helmet with a cage. Well, now he's gone to the molded mask, and is it ever special? And it reeks of West Coast Hollywood. Man's Chinese theater. See the hands and the foot imprints right there. The Walk of Fame. He's got Hollywood in the front. And he's got film. That's actual film. There's the artist's name, and I've been trying to figure out who that is. But look at the film reel on his pad. See on one pad, and then it goes over to the other? That's the film reel. The whole thing, it's a theme. Get it? It's a theme.
Hollywood. Well, I'll tell you, you talk about some collector's items. These people who are doing this artwork, and it is artwork for some of these goaltenders. It's amazing stuff they're coming up with.
Yeah, it sure is. I still haven't figured out what is in the middle of one of his pads, but that definitely was a film reel. And you know the reason Kelly Hrudey had to switch? Because they can't find those helmets and the cages anymore. Nobody makes them. The whole world has gone to the molded mask. This is made by a company called Armadillo, and to Kelly's knowledge and their equipment man, Peter Miller, nobody else in the league wears one. You see how big the top is? Most molded masks are pointier on the top. Kelly's is really big and round, and it almost looks like his old helmet mask that he used to wear.
Now, this is the first night he's worn this in a game, isn't it? He didn't wear this last night. Did he wear it for a while?
Yeah.
Because he hadn't worn it before last night's game. Kelly was saying he used it in practice just to try and get used to it because he said it's a whole lot different looking out. Cleared out by Sador.
When the game is on, if the action gets too rough, remember, the ice is always smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, official beer sponsors of the NHL.
Steve Levy back at our National Hockey Night studios. Boston on the power play in the final 2 minutes, tied with Buffalo. Adam Oates, Ray Bourque. Dominik Hasek beating the Bruins, a 2-1 lead. Back to Detroit.
Ray Bourque having another outstanding season.
Got to be licking their chops, and the price for Zhitnik is going up with every shift. What a shot. Head up all the way. Mike Vernon was locked in really by Rick Tocchet, and you know what? It looked to me like Tocchett's skates were in the crease. Perhaps he was pushed back in. But Zhitnik with a tremendous shot has closed the gap to 3-1. Maybe these black uniforms will come to life now.
Wow. Yeah.
Mike Vernon. See Tocchet trying to get to the net, fighting his way there, fighting his way there. He had 2 Red Wings. What a great screen. It's the little things that mean a lot, and Rick Tocchet has done just about all of the little things really well this year, including that. Going to the net.
Gary Curry and Tocchet picked up the again. Blitz from Zani. Now Fedorov moved over. Gretzky gets dumped by Fedorov. Here's Fedorov coming. Sergei Fedorov for a goal. Yes!
Gretzky went down. Sergei Fedorov just pulled away from the world. Watching along the boards. Yeah, Gretz just slipped on something, and away came Fedorov. Wow. Well, he's hit for the cycle. He's got a shorthander to go with his 2 even strength goals and his power play goal.
4-goal game for Sergei Fedorov. I once did the game which Mario Lemieux against the New Jersey Devils scored in all conceivable ways. He picked up them all. He had the empty net goal at the end of the game. He had a penalty shot goal. He had a power play goal. He had a short-handed goal, and he had an even strength goal.
So we're just missing the penalty shot and the empty netter here.
We need 2. Picked up by Sador, a huge short-handed goal by Sergei Fedorov, who has scored all 4 goals for the Detroit Red Wings of the season. Just that easy. Steve Levy.
Hey, thanks. So it's Fedorov 4 and the Kings 1, along with Mike Milbury. What is that?
Today.
Only once. Boston got a point. They were in a 1-1 tie. Buffalo didn't get any points. They lost 2-1 to the Islanders. Those 2 clubs getting together up at the Aud tonight. Dominik Hasek brought his 1.36 goals against average into the game. But Hasek will be beaten in the first. Pretty passing play. Steve Leach to Dave Reed. Back to Brian Smolenski, the backhander, his 3rd of the year. 1-0 Bruins. Now watch this one. Donald Audette outside of the net. Comes back around in front. Jamie Huscraft, watch 28 in the black and gold, whacks it into his own net behind Vincent Riendo. Audette credited with the unassisted goal. That tied it at 1. Final 2 minutes. Boston on the power play. Adam Oates, Ray Bourque. How many times did you see that happen? And the Bruins had a 2-1 lead, and they hang on to win it by a score of 2-1. The Sabres have played 12 games this season. It's their 7th 2-1 game, and they're 4-3 in those games. Now, Mike, in that Boston
to 10 days. When a trainer doesn't know what he's talking about, it's a week to 10 days. In the case of Blaine Locker, it could be a little bit longer. His visits to the pastry shop could get in the way of his rehab.
Already out and injured is Buffalo captain Pat Panthers from Miami. First period, Scott Niedermayer had his shot deflected to Randy McKay, and he spins around and scores the goal to tie things at 1, beating John Van Beesbrook. Third period, Devils too much. Bobby Holik, Mike Peluso in front, chips it in, and the Devils win 4-2. What a strange scoring sheet for New Jersey. Holik, McKay, and Peluso all score goals, and yet the classic goal scorer, Stefan Richer, he was the one who scored the empty netter. The Devils, their first road victory of the season. Also today, Edmonton shut out the Ducks 2-0. Bill Ranford, 29 stops, 20 in the third period. Got a feel for Guy Hebert. He had 43 saves. in the loss. Well, we tell you lost Sunday. Potential, one of 6 defensemen to reach the 20-goal plateau last year. Potential, a new 4-year, $10 million contract to validate his worth. Potential, one of the league's hardest hitters.
Being a defenseman, 6'3", 210, you have to use that ability. And so I hit, and obviously, I like to play the game clean. I think a good clean hit is a good way of, setting a standard for a game, changing the pace of the game or momentum also. The most generous teammate, Rob takes all the new players under his wing and into his brand new home. I guess they call this Hotel Blake. It kind of started during training camp this year. We had a lot of guys, had 7 guys living in here at one time. To make them feel a little more part of the team, they come in here and we're all together. We go for dinner together, and actually I hate living by myself. Hopefully, especially in French, and that's because the Quebec Nordiques are off to a 10-1 start. Their only loss came by 1 goal at New Jersey, and one of the reasons for their resurgence, their leader on the score sheet in the locker room, Wendell Clark. 8 goals, 6 assists so far. Speaks highly of his new coach, Mark Crawford, too. He lets the players be as creative as they want offensively, except in a couple situations you do the smart play, and that's get the puck in deep and outnumber situations, and in your own end, make sure you play the system that's designed. And other than that, he leaves all the creativity up to the players, and it's been a lot of fun for the guys so far. Clark's obviously made a big difference.
Control and start from behind their own net. Kelly Rudy in there for the Kings, and Mike Vernon in net at the other end. Fedorov up on the forecheck. He's going to intercept, centered in front. Short-handed chance, save made by Kelly Rudy. Fedorov intercepted. Lidstrom shot, deflected off the stick. Mike Sillinger set up in front by Fedorov. Lidstrom shot, Kelly Rudy blocking that one again. And Gretzky will take it out. Yes, this is a Kings power play. Gary Curry in the corner. Third National Hockey Night from Detroit. Fedorov has picked up all 4. The crowd, every time he touches it, just waiting to see what's going to happen. Kozlov! He got in. Kelly Rudy made the save. It's Fedorov again. Fedorov sent it for Kozlov. Blocked along the near side. No call as Fedorov got the stick in on Jitnik and knocked him down. Tipped ahead by Todd. John Drews drops it in.
Big. And Robert Long scored his first goal last night in Toronto. Now he has goal number 2. But watch what happens to Mike Vernon here. A good forecheck here. I think it's Eric Lacroix coming in. And Vernon gets, it's Eric Lacroix, the rookie, number 28. Mike Vernon got caught on the pileup and could not get back to his goal. The puck went behind the net to Robert Long. Bingo, 4-2.
Konstantinov to be amazing. Intercepted. Greg Johnson. Everything has been Detroit in this game, but they've not been able to put it away. Johnson, save made by Kelly Rudy. The 37th shot in this game for the Red Wings. Tocchet sends it in. Mike Vernon let that one come back in behind him. Konstantinov with Granato all over him. Pushed up on the boards. Ciccarelli over to Burr. Burr to Ciccarelli. Broken up by Petit. Wind up shot. Burr save. Rebound Ciccarelli. Centered Coffey. Coffey sends it in, and the Kings get it back. Kelly Rudy blocking the only scoring chance during that spree in front. In favor of Detroit. Sent in again behind the net. Dino Ciccarelli on the wraparound attempt. Couldn't get it there. Point shot Lidstrom. Save Kelly Rudy. He's coming up big, giving him the chance. Jari Kurri leading the rush. Kurri to Gretzky. Gretzky dropped it. Shot score! Wayne Gretzky to Randy Burridge! And this is a one-goal game!
How about it? Now, I didn't even expect Kelly Rudy to answer the bell for the third period because he has the flu. He made a terrific save, kicked the puck right out to the forward line, and away they came. This is right after Rudy's save. He kicked it right back to Randy Burridge. Jari Kurri up ice to Gretzky. And Randy Burridge knew. We talked to him yesterday. He said, I'm going to be playing with Wayne Gretzky. I know what to do. Put my head down and go to the net.
And keep your stick on the ice.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what happened. It's incredible. This team was so badly outplayed. Give Barry Melrose guys some credit. They never threw in the towel. Kelly Rudy kept making stop after stop, and little by little, they've kind of stabilized.
Yzerman, this game start back. Detroit's back, however. Shot Todd. Vernon just got a piece. Kevin Todd. That one deflected just wide. Todd battling behind the net. Lapointe, Martin Lapointe digs it out. Lapointe tied up from behind. Pat Conacher.
He's got a bit of a snarl on. Watch Steve Yzerman. Had been roughed up on the other side by number 28, Eric Lacroix. Yzerman decided he wanted to try and pay him back. Not a good idea. That is a big, tough, strong rookie in Eric Lacroix. Yzerman got the face rub.
Randy Burge from Gretzky. And Yari Kirov has already got 4 goals. Fedorov, wrist shot, save Kelly Rudy, and he hangs on. One of the great college tournaments in college hockey. The finals coming up on the Deuce. Our coverage
Season means nothing.
As we've mentioned so often in the playoffs, offense is not the key. It's almost always defense. The exception was the Edmonton Oilers with Gretzky and Yari Curry and Messier in that group. They were so offensively powerful.
To play most of the game, so that means that 22-year-old Chris Osgood, still looking 16, is backing up Mike Vernon. You know what? Wasn't fair for him last year. He had a terrific season, and look at his overall record, 26-9-5. But he was panned by everybody. It wasn't his fault. As a 21-year-old, I don't think he should have been expected to take the Red Wings anywhere, and he didn't. And it wasn't his fault.
Nope, he put up some big numbers and is doing so again this season. He's playing well for them, but Vernon's got the #1 job. Here's Gretzky again down the middle. Shot! Saved by Vernon. Gretzky the rebound. Trying to wrap around. Got it to Yari Curry. Curry gets tied up by Rouse. Gretzky and Kozlov with him in the middle. Fedorov wide. That was blocked out in front as Zadorov went down and blocked it. Kings back the other way. Yari Curry ahead to Gretzky. He's got a little room. Turned. Lidstrom comes the other way. Gretzky saved by Vernon. Rebound. Shutnik save and no rebound.
Wayne Gretzky has to be frustrated at this point. Gosh, as Mike Vernon robbed him. Watch Lidstrom #5. He turned the wrong way, and that's why Wayne Gretzky was able to buy some time. He ripped his shot. Great save by Vernon. The key of this save, look at how Vernon was up and in position for the second save. I mean, he left a big rebound, but it was in complete position for the Zhitnik follow-up. That's one thing about Mike Vernon's style. It is classic stand-up all the way. Yes, he goes to his knees sometimes, but he is up so quickly and ready for that next shot.
We are seeing Wayne Gretzky swept in wide by Brown. Vernon looking for some help. Played it. Tocchet was right there. Back up to the point. Zhitnik again. In front. Quinn shoot. Score! Do you believe it? They have tied this game up after it looked like they were going to be run out of St. Louis on a rail. It is 4-4. Wow.
Danny Quinn's first goal, his first goal as a Los Angeles King, has tied this game at 4. Mike Vernon was crossed up on this one. I don't know why. When it went back to the point and the shot came in, did it hit something? He looked surprised. Oh, it hit Quinn and bounced right onto him. That's why he was surprised. It deflected off Dan Quinn, off Vernon, and right down to Danny Quinn's stick. How about that?
Unbelievable. This game is tied at 4 as Quinn gets the goal.
I got to tell you something, Gary, on that last rush, the Red Wings had 3 men back, but they're trying to cheat. They're backing way up and allowing the Kings to hit the blue line with full speed, and the Kings blew right through them.
Scotty Bowman told me this afternoon.
Oh, baby, he might have been speared in the face or the throat by accident on that follow-through by Jason Ward.
I see it.
Oh, he's all right.
He got hit with a stick.
Staying with us, 4:59 left in regulation.
I know what happened.
They've had a lead over the last 2+ years.
And this is our Pringles replay. Watch this. End over ender. Danny Quinn. His first goal of the season. His 7th team in the NHL in the 90s alone.
Trying to find a home. Centering pass. Burr was there, knocked away. Jumps over Pat Conacher. Yzerman leading a 4-on-3 rush. Yzerman to Coffey. Coffey rolling in. Dropped it in front. Sillinger had it. Lost it. Rolled in. Kelly Rudy made it save. It deflected off bodies onto Kelly Rudy, who had to make a save. And he was under the crossbar when he made it. Pat Conacher the other way. 3-on-2 chance for the Kings. Zhitnik. Save. Vernon. A rebound, but there was a whistle first.
Well, this is the way this one was supposed to finish, isn't it?
Yes.
The way the third period went, wow. It was all Detroit, and then it got to be a great game, and that's what we've got in overtime. This was the one that trickled in on Kelly Hrudey. I think it hit Mike Sillinger's skate by accident. He didn't even see it coming. Kelly Hrudey made the save, then down at the other end. Well, Alexei Zhitnik has been everywhere in this game. That's his shot. He's already scored one. Could have 5. I'll tell you what, he's blasted about 6 from that same spot. Well, Mike Vernon in 1989 won a Stanley Cup, and I'll always remember Serge Savard reading his quote in the paper the next day after Calgary beat Montreal. He said, you know why we lost? Their goalie was better than ours. And when he said ours, he was referring to Patrick Waugh. That was the year Mike Vernon outdueled Patrick Waugh.
Well, the Octopus
home.
Maybe it was going to be suffering. It just spoiled as he waited. Brought in by Fedorov. Fedorov drops it to Burr. Zhitnik on it. Burr centered. Kelly Hrudey had it. Lost it. Out in front is Fedorov. They were trying to feed to him. Shot right. Save made by Kelly Hrudey. Lindstrom on the near side. Nicholas Lidstrom drops it back. Still set up in front. Doug Brown this time. Brown comes back to help out. Brown digging has it, but the net comes loose.
Oh, penalty shot.
A penalty shot.
Calling a penalty shot.
Incredible.
Kelly Hrudey has been found guilty of intentionally dislodging the net.
What a way to end the game. Baby, in overtime, the intentional dislodging of a net, and I think the puck was in the crease at the time. This will be a penalty shot in overtime.
And you got to know that Fedorov is going to take it. He's already got 4. Watch Kelly Hrudey. Watch what Hrudey does here. Oh, it's Petit. It was not Kelly Hrudey. It was Michel Petit. Oh, my.
He already has 4 goals, Sergei Fedorov. Power play, shorthanded, even strength.
Well, you said that you did a Mario Lemieux game where he had 5 different types, and one of them was a penalty shot. I'll be really surprised if Fedorov doesn't take this, and there he is. He's going to take it.
A chance to win this game in overtime on a penalty shot. Kelly Hrudey and Don Koharski. There have been 4 penalty shots thus far this season. This will be the 5th. Sergei Fedorov and Kelly Hrudey with 1:08 left in overtime. If he scores, Detroit wins. If he doesn't, the OT continues. Fedorov and Kelly Hrudey. Kelly Hrudey made the save. We are not done.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky better thank Kelly Hrudey. You know, this game could have been a 7-0 game in the first half. If not for the flu-ridden Kelly Hrudey. Sergei Fedorov tried to shoot. Where did he go? Low to the stick side or the 5-hole? Low to the stick side. And Kelly Hrudey went down in kind of a hybrid butterfly style. Woo!
One of sports' best moments is a penalty shot in hockey. When you put it into the overtime of a hockey game, it just adds to it. So he's still got 4 goals. What a joker. Yeah, right. Bad night for Fedorov.
Yeah, right. You know, Kelly Hrudey simply beat him on that one.
Kelly Hrudey has now made 44 saves in this game. He made 41 in last night's game. Face off to his right.
He was trying to relax a little bit because there is a bunch of pressure. I took one once. I took the first one in Philadelphia Flyers history and creased the outside of the net. Wasn't even credited for a shot on goal. Luckily, we were winning 6-1 at the time. It wasn't an overtime deal.
Smile came easier. Face off, one back to the point. Paul Coffey. Shot deflected. Kelly Hrudey a save on Fedorov. Rebound. Fedorov trying to wrap it in. Came out in front of the net. Cleared out.
We're in a 4-way tie for first place, taking on the New Jersey Devils, who are in 6th place. Highlights of this one from Miami. First period, here come the Devils. Paul Laus gets it to Mike Huff, who takes the long shot for the goal. And that put the Panthers up by a score of 1-0. Back the other way. Scott Niedermayer tries to get it through. There's Randy McKay, the spin and score. McKay, his first goal of the season. Second period, some controversy. Bobby Oleg shoots, but the net becomes dislodged. The goal did count. The Devils went up by 1. Third period, Devils just too much. Halik to Mike Peluso for the goal, and the Devils win by a score of 4-2.
Time runs down, and he gives it right away for a goal.
Here's a feed inside. Lomersay has the ball stripped away. Loose ball on the floor. Saved by Sean Robbins. Oh, my God.
Candy is a sweet idea, but we have something even sweeter in mind.
And buckle up. Oh! Martin with the basketball after the rebound by Sasser-Alley. Oh, mama.
Ahead to Hornacek. Horny drive. Behind the back flip to Carvalho, and he scores.
Oh, baby. Here comes Sura. He's got to let it fly. And he got it!
Pearls make good gifts, but if you get into a jam, this stone is precious too.
And here's a chance. Adam moving in. And Flaherty with a big stop.
Birds can make lovely gifts, but once in flight, they're tough to catch. But this birdie is true.
Still to come on the show, a duck who did not duck. Cork him if you got him, and even if you don't know who or where you are. Yeah, go that way. We'll be right back.
Edmonton hosting Anaheim. The Oilers starting to surge just as the Ducks are dipping. Which way would we go? Go Ducks. It's cold outside. The Hebert is hot inside. Knocking down Jason Arnott. Todd Marchand. Oh! Knocked that away into the boards. Doug Waits crumples under the weight of Hebert, who had 43 saves, a career record. But he did let through a couple, including that slapper by Kelly Buchberger. Meanwhile, Bill Ranford was tough on the other net. 29 saves, his first shutout of the season. His
first guy to get there to help. But talk about scoring goals. 6 in the last 4 games, including a hat trick the last time these two teams met.
And that was last Saturday when Los Angeles came away with a victory. Tonight they're in Detroit for the second meeting of the season. It'll be the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Los Angeles Kings. Gretzky.
He won't play as long as this guy.
Al, thanks very much. And maybe not as long as this guy. Sergei Fedorov, the MVP of the league last season. And the man for the Kings in net. He has won 232 games, 29th all-time in wins. Kelly Hrudey, he beat Detroit last week. He starts tonight.
7:30 only on ESPN.
Game on! Yeah, game on!
For your favorite NHL team schedule, call 1-800-NHL-FAN-5.
Good evening, everyone. Steve.
He got a hamstring pull yesterday. They're going to look to Vinny Rando to pull him out of the fire.
All right, speaking of goaltenders, we'll talk goaltending. Coming up, Mike and I back in our first intermission. We'll look at Dominik Hasek, maybe making the push on Patrick Roy to be the best goaltender in the NHL. But up next, first period action. Gretz and the Kings and the Red Wings.
Detroit. These teams kind of mirror images of each other. Dino Ciccarelli, the shot, blocked up deep. Rebound picked up by Sean Burr. Burr moving with Fedorov and Ciccarelli on the line. Shot, defenseman Lidstrom moved up. Lidstrom came in from the point, still has it. Centering pass blocked. Rebound kicked in. Kelly Hrudey the save. Penalty coming up. Dino Ciccarelli got dumped after he took the shot. Delayed call. Detroit gets the extra skater. Lidstrom on the near side. His shot deflected and a save in front on Sean Burr's tap.
Playing against San Jose, but obviously Dino talked Scotty into getting him out there early. Great defensive play by Michel Petit, but it bounced right off of Daryl Sador and back to Dino. There's the takedown by Randy Burridge, the newest LA King.
18 stitches on that muscle tear for Dino Ciccarelli. That's why Ciccarelli is wearing that helmet. Scotty this afternoon. Konstantinov trying to kick it up in the corner. Conacher got hit by Sillinger.
What a job by Conacher. Look at him. Sillinger did a great job. Here he comes again.
Randy Mahler, no call. Conacher got dumped. He'll just come back for more. Cleared in behind the net. Detroit trying to get up and into the offensive zone on this power play with a minute left on it. Yzerman shot. Kelly Hrudey makes the save. 41 saves for Kelly Hrudey last night. He was.
It's not like hitting a bowling pin. It's like hitting the bowling ball.
Great. Nicholas Lidstrom near side back. Coffey shot deflected in on Hrudey. Makes the save. Rebound back out to Lidstrom. Paul Coffey the one-timer. Save. Rebound. Coming in front. Rebound shot wide. Yzerman couldn't believe it. He had Hrudey down and he couldn't put it on net. Steve Yzerman missing it shorthanded the other way. Conacher taken out by Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom, 1001st game. Back in the middle, McSorley centering wide side. Didn't want to shoot it. Gretzky couldn't get it.
Point blank chance for Marty McSorley, and he passed it up, and it would have worked, but he passed it on Jari Kurri's backhand side. Kurri couldn't one time, but he was on a sharp angle.
Jari Kurri last night became just the 98th player in league history to play 1,000. Kelly Hrudey the save. Rebound flipped into the corner and backed up behind the net. Good chances for Detroit's Doug Brown that time. Back up to the point. Held on to Mike Ramsey. Shot save. Rebound score! Detroit, Sergei Fedorov.
He couldn't control, but watch how this play started. Fedorov lost his stick, regained it at the corner, and went right to the front of the net. I think Doug Brown, number 17, tipped Mike Ramsey's shot, and maybe that's why Kelly Hrudey couldn't control it. Just a touch. Yeah, I think Doug Brown deflected it. Rebound right to Fedorov. Mike Ramsey will get an assist. That's Ramsey's.
A superstar in waiting who has patterned himself after the greatest of all time. The similarities are obvious. Bent over at the waist, deceptively fast. Paul Kariya has often been compared to Wayne Gretzky. Not only does Kariya skate like the great one, he passes the puck with Gretzky-like sixth sense, anticipating the movements of everyone else on the ice. Standing at 5'11", 175 pounds, Kariya has been knocked for being too small, a criticism Gretzky endured before turning pro. But the most impressive aspect Kariya shares with Gretzky is his potent offensive ability, a natural-born instinct to score goals. And Kariya credits the great one as the figure who has helped mold this future superstar.
My idol growing up was Wayne Gretzky, and I really enjoyed watching him play through the years, and I certainly learned a lot from watching him play, but I enjoy every athlete in the NHL, and for that matter in sports. I mean, I really like watching the Larry Birds and the Magic Johnsons, how they use their teammates and play in the team structure. And obviously in the NHL, Wayne Gretzky, all the success that he's had, I've tried to incorporate some of the things he does into my game.
Those comparisons, they're a little unfair, but at the same time, you can see why people make those comparisons. They're not similar in stature at all. Wayne's a lot bigger than Paul, but on the other hand, Paul's much faster, much quicker than Wayne is. You'll never be able to find a player like Wayne Gretzky, but Paul has the possibility of coming as close as anyone possibly could.
So far, in the very beginning of his highly touted NHL career, the 21-year-old left winger has lived up to the huge billing. His uncanny knack for scoring and setting up goals has immediately placed him as the key player the opposition focuses on. His offensive prowess has handed the Ducks a dimension they simply did not have last season, the ability to score goals.
I think that the big thing for me is when I get to the rink and I get into the dressing room, it's 100% focused on hockey there, and everything that's going into my mind is hockey. You know, what I have to do in the game or what I have to do in the practice to improve. And then when I leave the arena, it's another focus. It's the focus of the fans signing autographs or talking to the media. And it's just a matter of shifting focus and when you are doing one thing, to only focus on that certain aspect. I think a lot of it has to do with teammates and the team working really well together, because more so than baseball, hockey is a pure team sport, and to succeed individually or as a team, everyone's got to be working together. And I think when things are going well for the team and everyone's passing the puck on the tape and everyone knows the system that we're playing, that's when you'll find success in hockey.
Success is exactly what Kariya has enjoyed in hockey from the very first time he laced up a pair of skates. His freshman year at the University of Maine was undeniably of Gretzky in proportion. Kariya not only led the nation in scoring, but also captured the Hobey Baker Award as the top college player in the United States. Kariya's combination of speed, creativity, and uncanny vision was never more evident. But his dominance had only just begun. In the 1994 World Championships, Kariya not only led Canada to a gold medal, but was tops in scoring on a team full of NHL stars. Now, Kariya is looking to continue his awesome achievements. The comparisons he faces to Gretzky have brought obvious expectation. But just like he has in the past, Paul Kariya is confident he will silence all the critics.
The only pressure that I feel is pressure that the team puts on itself to perform in game in, game out, and the pressure that I put on myself to perform. And I've got expectations that I want to live up to, but in terms of the media's expectations or the expectation of a big contract, I try not to let that bother me and really focus on playing hockey.
That was outrageous. What a shot. Look at Greer. He's all pumped up about it. He gladly takes the penalty. Take another look. Callahan is hammered to the ice.
That's a bad call.
Greer's been drafted by the Blues, all 6'1", and 246 pounds of him. What a shot.
That controls a smile on the side of his face that was cut. And this morning or this afternoon when he came back, of course, being hockey players, everybody tried to make him laugh. Nice guys.
Now the way he plays on the ice, he may not. 2-year-old leaves it. Fedorov in. Fedorov drops it, hoping for a little help. Doug Brown. Brown acquired from Pittsburgh on the waiver wire. Now working on the first line for the Red Wings. See loving the waiver wire. Brown set up in front. Knees cutting in. They're dropping everybody. Konstantinov shot. Saved by Rudy. Rebound back into the corner. Look at him cycle. Down low. Kozlov shot. Save. Rebound. Fedorov's got two.
He just keeps shuffling his skates all the way around. Pulled away from Charlie Huddy. And Kelly Rudy was able to get the first one, but a couple of problems for LA here. Too many Kings standing up. I mean, nobody's being really knocked down on the rebounds. Nobody was near Fedorov. But give the Red Wings some credit. They still have more offensive.
Pocket backed it up. Look at Detroit dominate territorially here in the first 10 minutes of this game. Centering pass lost. Shipnick down on the ice head first with Greg Johnson. Johnson was open, but he tripped and fell. No call.
And Kelly Rudy doesn't have his stick. Charlie Huddy's in front trying to get it to him. Oh, they didn't get it out. Oh, Kelly got it back. I didn't think he was going to get it back.
Paul Coffey held it in. Back in front. All alone. Backhand shot. Kelly Rudy the save on Sillinger. Sillinger was wide open in the slot. In fact, at the top of the crease, Robin Long sends that one in. Look at this turnover. Batted away, Kelly Rudy. Detroit trying to put it away early.
No, I mean, this is bad.
Look at this turnover. Batted away, Kelly Rudy. Detroit trying to put it away early. Robin Long intercepts. Long strikes the other way. Long moves it in for the Kings. Pat Conacher a screen. A lot of room. Shot. Save. Burn it. Rebound kick to the corner. Pat Conacher's hurt. There's a penalty coming up. Conacher down. In front. Burn the save. Rebound wide. Good chance by Kevin Brown. Times with a bit of criticism from the players. He's trying to get everybody in games. Near side. Brown. Saved by Vernon. Big chance for the 20-year-old Kevin Brown. Vernon came right to left. McSorley back for Brown. Intercepted. Lidstrom. The Kings. Coffey's got it. Coffey moves into the zone. Shuts it down. Drops it off. Shot saved. Kelly Rudy. Greg Johnson charging in through the left wing circle, and the opportunity that time. Kozlov to Yzerman. Yzerman to Coffey. Gloved by Rudy off the mark, but game will feature Dominik Hasek. Look at those numbers. And Kenny Regan, who's filling in for Tom Barrasso, undefeated. Pretty good fill-in.
Yeah, with Dominik Hasek back on top. A lot of rumors about Grant Fuhr moving, and one of them has him coming to L.A. We'll get to that when we get a chance.
Kelly Rudy bats it away in front. Shot. Kozlov deflected to the corner. The King.
Oh, he locked skates with... Well, he locked skates with Don Koharski.
That's
you know what? It was a stick, though. It was Kozlov's stick that hit him on the way down. 2 takedowns for Koharski.
Still Detroit dominated first period. Here's Yzerman. His shot. Kelly Rudy makes the save. Rebound Konstantinov saved by Kelly Rudy. Sean Bird. Adino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli. He's cycling. His backhander. In front right through the crease. Went off Marty McSorley's skate as Yzerman backed it in. Cleared out of the zone. Intended. Robert Long moving in. 3 back for the Red Wings. Dropped it down the middle. Conacher. Outstanding save by Mike Vernon. Vernon with a quick glove on Pat Conacher's shot. Other games going on in the National Hockey League. We'll keep you.
I know they're capable of putting up these numbers of shots and they can score, but they have had people back. They've got a new defensive system and they are much better defensively.
It's working for him. Shot in by Coleman wide. Kelly Rudy took a long time playing that. Rouse chips it back in behind the net. Rudy held on to that one a long time. Didn't want to give the rebound up because the Red Wings have so many people right out in front of him. Yzerman, great move. Backhand shot. Kelly Rudy went behind him. Deflected off the pipe and back.
When do you see that?
Shepard moving in. Shepard dropped it. Fedorov for the pure hat trick. Moved in. Couldn't squeeze the trigger as he got shut down. Now a real improvement when they finished 16th. Fedorov! Almost the hat trick. Kelly Rudy denies, and he's red hot right now. 46 seconds left here in the first period.
Not bad at all. I mean, Kelly Rudy played last night with the flu. Supposed to be worse tonight, but That one looked like it was going wide. Still, Sergei Fedorov with 2 chances in the last 2 minutes for that natural.
The offensive support or lack of. Check out that bottom line. The Sabres, when Hasek's in goal, they score less than 2 goals per game for him. And Mike, 5-2-1, it's a good record. When you look at the offensive support he's not getting, that's an outstanding record.
It's amazing. And Hasek is one of a very small group of European goaltenders to make it in the National Hockey League. Scouts don't like European goaltenders in general. That's because they're always flopping on the ice, and they're always very deep in their own nets. For Hasek, he's made it work regardless of style, but it took him a couple years to make the adjustments.
I didn't believe that I can be good goalie again. I can be starting goalie. Everything changed during last year. I didn't believe that I could be #1 goalie for a team, and everything changed so fast.
And there's a good chance you'll see.
Tries, he lost his stick. Now that one in the corner, he dropped his stick, therefore everybody let him go. He wasn't dangerous. Yeah, he was dangerous. He went for the rebound on the second one. He ended up losing his stick to the side of Kelly Rudy after being ridden hard to the boards, and really he was well covered until his stick was broken. See, it broke in the shaft. Now he headed to the bench on this one, and it almost looked to me, Gary, like he was motioning, come on, somebody change. No person came on, but the stick came over. What did he do? Went right back and said, here I am, guys. Perfect. But Detroit defensively was terrific. Now, this is part of their system, having people back, not giving up odd man rushes. Look at Alexei Zhitnik. Whoopie has stood up. 3 Red Wings back inside the one that stood up. That was Konstantinov that stood up. I'll tell you what, Barry Smith today.
Dropped it. Back. Granato shot wide. Rebound. Tocchet. That has been Tony Granato this season. Gets chances, just not able to bury it. Zhitnik and a save made by Mike Vernon. Al Morganti.
So, Clement, you mentioned it earlier. A lot of trade rumors involving the...
In front, Yari Curry chips it back. Petit drops it. Gretzky. Yari Curry never had time to wind up and take the shot. Look at Burr without a stick. Just shoved him down 3 times. Sador comes back to get it.
Throwing their hats on the ice in celebration of Sergei Fedorov's goal, his 3rd of the game. Detroit with complete control after the Kings looked like they had a chance to take it out, get it out. What a great pass. A big lane between Wayne Gretzky and Marty McSorley. And Fedorov was wide open for the pass.
Washington Capital, Craig Berube. Berube did strike first with a stick, but then Hextall responded. It was his 3rd incident of the game. Both Hextall and Berube, when this thing all ended up, received match penalties for having intent to injure. Automatic suspensions come with match penalties, and we could know as early as tomorrow just how long those bans will be. Coming up on SportsCenter, who do you think will be the first to go in tomorrow's NFL expansion?
With a couple of defensemen to the Kings in exchange for defenseman Alexei Zhitnik, Charlie Huddy, and goalie Rob Stauber. Buffalo also gets a 5th-round pick. Paul Runnels, Headline Sports.
For Philippe Boucher, Dennis Sigaroff, and veteran goalie Grant Fuhr. According to Sabres coach John Muckler, this trade has been in the works for quite a while.
Fuhr is reunited with former Oiler teammate Wayne Gretzky. The two teamed up to lead Edmonton to 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s. Fuhr wanted more playing time in Buffalo. But with the emergence of Dominik Hasek, who recently signed a multi-year contract, Fuhr became expendable. Now, the 6-time All-Star has a shot at the #1 goalie spot in L.A.
I don't think Grant was mentally prepared to be number 2. He would never accept being number 2, and he shouldn't, because he's a #1 goalkeeper, and he'll play well in L.A. And he was a major part of the deal as far as L.A. is concerned.
The move leaves Kelly Rudy, the Kings' current top netminder, up in the air. LA's GM, Sam McMaster, says the trade gives the team a solid 1-2 punch in goal, especially with so many back-to-back games.
They're classy individuals, and I know that they will compete to play, and I think that's a healthy situation. It's healthy for the team to know that at any one given time, we're going to have a goalie that can go in and stone the opposition.
As for Alex Zitnik, the 22-year-old's departure leaves a huge hole in the Kings' back line. Zitnik will not only quarterback the Sabres' power play, but he brings an offensive talent currently lacking in the Sabres' defense corps.
If you looked at the past championship teams, they've always had a real good offensive player in behind the blue line, and I think Alex is going to give that to us in the future.
Now, we should mention we're going to talk about this trade with NHL analyst Charlie Simmer later in the show. We'll sit down with Charlie in the skybox.
Yeah, a lot of people say this is another deal made by Wayne Gretzky to bring another old teammate to Los Angeles. Not a lot of people happy about that. All right, moving on to the NBA. The new majority owner today, the main players, Grant Fuhr comes to the Kings, and Alex Zitnik, a great young defenseman, goes to the Buffalo Sabres. A lot of people in L.A. not too happy about this.
Well, I think anytime you're labeled an untouchable, as Alexei Zhitnik was, then it's time to worry about it. And it's kind of surprising they traded him away. I think between him and Darryl Sador and, of course, Rob Blake, they were the nucleus of the new Los Angeles Kings. And to lose one of those three, especially with Rob Blake being hurt, it's kind of surprising. The other guys, I think they're getting two good defensemen, young defensemen back in return, Serligan and Boucher, but they're unproven, and they've traded away two of their proven defensemen, Zhidnik and Charlie Huddy.
And of course, what the critics are saying is that this is a Wayne Gretzky-made trade. He's bringing one of his old teammates in, and he's running the L.A. Kings. Is any of this true?
Anytime I've talked to Wayne or anybody in the business, Davey Taylor, I'm very close to him, and they do not mention that at all. And I think Sam McMaster, the new GM, I think has a plan that he wants to follow, and I think that's just the way it has to be. They're trying to maybe cut their payroll a little bit, but then they bring in Grant Fuhr at 1.6. That could hurt them a little bit. And then you look at the other problem. You have two very good goaltenders in Kelly Hrudey, who's had a great season last year and this year, and Grant Fuhr, both #1 goaltenders, and both like to play a lot of hockey.
Speaking of #1 players, let's go across the country, talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Mario Lemieux is sitting out this year. Their best goaltender, Tom Barrasso, is out. And these guys are on fire. They're the best team in the league so far. Well, how are they doing this? I mean, guys get hurt, and they don't miss a beat.
Well, I think the best goaltender is Ken Reggett. He hasn't lost this season, 10-0-1, and he's been probably the mainstay of their club right now. He's held them into games. They've been outshot a lot of the games, yet he's able to stop the shots. And you look up front, they have a lot of good character guys. Got players that everybody's pretty well given up. And Ron Francis is one of the elder statesmen there. Joey Mullins having a phenomenal year. And, of course, Jaromir Jagr is going to score you a lot of goals. And despite having Luc Robitaille out with the suspension, Kevin Stevens being hurt, everybody on that team seems to pick up a lot of momentum, a lot of the responsibility, and they're winning and winning big.
And they're really still in the headlines from the Quebec Nordiques, a sorry franchise a couple of years ago, but they're right behind the Penguins.
Well, the Quebec Nordiques were kind of a mysterious team for the last couple of years. Pierre Gauthier, who's now the assistant general manager in Anaheim, was one of the main people drafting all those good young players, and they never really lived up to the reputation. And I think the only difference I can see, other than a couple small trades, is the coach, Bob Crawford, a good players coach. The players respect him. He understands what the players are all about, and he's, I think, the main reason that they've turned that club around.
Well, it's a short season, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Charlie Simmer, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at our prime performance.
All right, thanks, guys. Our prime performance will stick with hockey. Last night in Dallas, two of the NHL's heavyweights duked it out. Shane Churla of the Stars matched against Winnipeg's tough guy, that's Ty Domi. Both fighters scoring respectively early on. Domi landed a big left, but let's give the first round to Churla. And this kind of action is rubbing off on our youth. Round two, the fighters appear to be tiring, but they still have some steam left. The big finale comes up against the boards. Domi goes primarily with the right, but Churla rocks up the late points as he lands a series of crunching lefts. The referees finally step in and break things up, but that was a prime performance, folks.
Get a prime selection of...
You don't shut up.
For Nets the past two seasons, it wasn't him. Grant Fuhr and two defensemen are now L.A. Kings, while the Buffalo package includes Alexei Zhitnik and Charlie Huddy. Fuhr will team with Kelly Hrudey to give the Kings a pretty good 1-2 punch in nets. And now to the Tuesday night games, which included the Bruins in Pittsburgh. Pens trying to stay unbeaten, and Jaromir Jagr, well, trying to keep the team from not missing Mario Lemieux. He put the Pens up 1-0 with his 11th goal of the young season, and 3 minutes later, well, Adam Oates, the nice blind pass to Mariusz Tchaikovsky, which tied the game at 1. Still first period, wild action in front of the net. Pittsburgh on the power play, and Ron Francis alone to pick up the loose puck. Pittsburgh up 3-1 at that point, and in the second period, more Penguins, more Jaromir Jagr. He helped the Pens to a 4-3 win, so the question would be,
Who's missing Lemieux? The Pens' 12-game unbeaten start, now the fourth best in NHL history, and Jágr, the league's scoring leader, who picked up his second ever hat trick, said he got some of the easiest goals of his career. The red-hot Nordiques on the island, and thank you very much. One kiss there, another right here. Darius Kasparaitis to Chris Simon. Happy Valentine's Day. 1-0 Nords first period. Valerie Kamensky, short-handed, puts the Nords up 2-0. 2-1 in the second period when Kamensky gets another one, and watch him work the puck, the stick, and hits the back of the net. 3-1 at that point, 3-2 when the horn sounded for the final time. The Nords now 11-1 and trail the unbeaten Penguins by 1 point in the Northeast Division. The Islanders have now lost 4 of 5. And the Flyers...
Shot in the front. Nice save there. Andy Moog, he was solid between the pipes for Dallas. Michel Petit's blast. Deflected, but Moog gets a skate on it. Kings finally get on the board here. Kevin Todd feeds John Druce, who gets it past Moog right there, and L.A. took a 1-0 lead. Then later in the first period, Dave Gagne to Mike Kennedy. The save is made, but Trent Klatt pokes home the rebound, and we're all even at 1. Second period, Wayne Gretzky with the slapper, kicked away by Moog. Tony DiGranato then shows how it's done. His drive beats Moog on the stick side. Kings went up 2-1 after 2 periods, and they went on to win it 3-1, and the Kings get their first win over the Stars since they moved to Dallas. The Oilers over the Maple Leafs, 4-1. Edmonton is now unbeaten in its last 6 games. The Red Wings over the Jets, 5-1. Wings get their first win in Winnipeg in 5 years. Let's go to Buffalo now, where Sabre fans were begging for more goals. That's a rare commodity in Buffalo these days. But the new guy, Alexei Zhitnik, chipped in early. First period, he scores his first goal as a Sabre. It was his first shot as a Sabre, beating Mike Richter, 1-0 Buffalo. Third period now, Brian Leetch, blocked by Dominik Hasek, but Brian Noonan pokes in the rebound. That tied the game at 1. Then with a minute left in the game, Hasek gets burned again. This time it's Steve Larmer. Right place at the right time, and the Rangers get themselves a 2-1 win. Sabres still having a tough time putting that puck in the net. They've scored just 25 goals in their 13 games this year. The Whalers over the Canadiens, 4-1. Habs having trouble on the road. They've won just 1 of their last 6 away from home. Panthers 2-0 over the Senators. Ottawa still looking for its first ever win over Florida. Devils beat the Caps 4-2. Caps now 2-8-2 on the season. And Devils coach Jacques Lemaire gets his 100th career coaching win.
Back to college hoops. And
with the stick, he made 42 saves. Second period, Tony Granato takes the puck, slapper, his 4th, 2-1 LA. Then Mike Modano does the same thing. They like the slap shot. Rudy, glove on it. May have gone over, still look pretty. Melrose says Rudy stays in net. Rangers, Sabres, the other end of that trade. Alexei Zhitnik asking directions on how to score. Where's the net? There it is. Didn't take him long. First period, the wraparound, and Richter beaten. 1-0 Sabres. Third period now, it's 2-1 Rangers. Zhitnik tackles Adam Graves, slams him to the boards. Other end, a chance to tie. Richter stops him this time, and the Rangers hang on and win it 2-1. 25 saves for Richter. Canadians, Whalers, Jeff Sanderson. Last year, he had 41 goals to lead the team. This year, he has 3. First period, Sanderson alone, the backhander, beats Waugh. That's 1. Second period, Sanderson, no helmet, pretty pass. That's 2. Still in the second, Sanderson 2-on-1, does it himself on the rebound, matching his season total with 3 goals. The Whalers win it 4-1. Wings, Jets, all Wings. The only way to stop Sergei Fedorov is to get him on a penalty shot. This isn't a penalty shot. It's 1-on-1. You can't stop him. His 10th. And then Dougie Brown. Same thing, 1-on-1. Guess what? It goes as well. Keith Primo scored 2. The Red Wings win it 5-1. Elsewhere, the Panthers winners 2-0, but they lose leading scorer Stu Barnes with an eye injury, not knowing how long he's going to be out. Jacques Lemaire gets win number 1.
My life. That's where I get away from my pressures and my fears and everything that bothers me. When I get on the ice, I mean, I see 2 things. I see the net and I see the puck. Where everybody else is kind of a feel and a hear, you know, you kind of just sense it. And I guess it's just from years and years of playing and being part of it and participating. People say, oh, you were born that way. And I don't think I was born that way. Nobody's born with a hockey mind. I mean, that's just not reality. I think, though, that I was born with a sense that I loved the game, and I grew with the game. So when I get on the ice, I love it. I love everything about it. It's my life. hours of skating and throwing the ball against the wall and playing lacrosse and baseball. And, I mean, that was what it was all about for me growing up as a kid. And my parents, especially my father, really encouraged me. He just always felt that sports kept kids out of trouble. I didn't move to Toronto to become a hockey player. I moved to Toronto to be a normal grade 9 student, a normal grade 10 student, to be a kid who, when he did well in a class, the teacher said, you did a nice job. When I did poorly, said, hey, you better get your act together. And what happens if you create this publicity, so to speak, in a small city, nobody can treat you normal. And I mean that in a way that the people who don't like you treat you worse, and the people who really admire you and respect you, they don't know how to treat you normal, so they treat you too nice, so it doesn't work out either way. When you're 18 and 19 years old, believe me, I mean, you want to win, and that's what we're there for. But the biggest thing in your head is you got to work hard, and you got to contribute, and you got to do the best you can to stay on the team. So even though you're trying to lead by example when you're on the ice, mentally you're saying, geez, I better do this, and I better work hard to stay part of this, or I'm going to be gone. So I wasn't really looked at that time yet. I had all these, quote, cliche names and expectations, etc., but I wasn't looked at in the locker room like, okay, this year this kid's going to win us a Stanley Cup. Each cup was special. The first one was very special because it's the first one, and a sense of relief. Well, you know, now they can't say anything anymore that I never won a championship. He's good. He had 220 points, but he's not that good. He's never won a championship. First thing that came to my mind when I looked at that cup was, you know, I don't have to hear this anymore. The second cup was gratifying because I would have to say it was the most exciting team maybe ever put together. The third cup, believe it or not, might have been the biggest climax because, you know, it was the first time in a long time that the Stanley Cup final had gone to Game 7. No way we could lose that night. There was no chance in 100 years that we would have lost that hockey game that night. And then the fourth one was probably by far the most special because I think it was the best hockey I ever played. For me, probably the hardest team I ever played against in my whole career was Boston. You know, it was checking me well, and I really, even though I liked playing the Boston Garden, the rink was never kind to me because of the dimensions and because of how they played me. And to win that series against the team was, you know, probably my hardest competitor. And I can remember going to that series going, oh boy, I hope I got it together here because if we don't win, I'm going to take the heat on this one. And I just really turned it up a notch and think it was the best hockey I played. And as it turned out, it was the last hockey I ever played in Edmonton. I think the city had fun because everybody was kind of there for 4 or 5 days, and every time I talked to one of my friends, they were at this party or going here. The people enjoyed it, and I know my wife and I and my family and her family we're very grateful because everything turned out great. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it again. I would pass a hat around, though, for collection. I'm disappointed about having to leave Edmonton. I truly admire all the fans and respect everyone over the years. I didn't want to take anything away from Gordie. I mean, to me, Gordie made hockey for everyone, as far as I'm concerned. He made hockey popular in the United States of America. He made it bigger in Canada. He helped contracts go up when he came back and played in the WHA. And I just think that the game owes him. If there's one person the game owes, it's Gordie Howe. And when I broke his record, yeah, it was difficult. I remember that day telling my wife in Edmonton, boy, I'm so excited about this tonight, but I'm also a little nervous about breaking the record. This is almost not fair.
I think Wayne has earned his money. He's earned his keep, and wherever he goes, the interest on Wayne Gretzky, you can ask a lot of superstars' names across the country, and when you come across Wayne, they'll know who you're talking about.
I just don't have a desire to do it. And I guess it's probably because in my mind, I'm still a hockey player.
And like, you know, this is a great car and my favorite stick, and you know, all the girls are gonna be slobbering all over this picture, so this is the important one here.
My dad always said to me, you know, what are you doing that for? You're a damn hockey player. And I guess I've always had that in my mind. I've never really gotten rid of that. But I'm a hockey player, and that's what I want to be, and that's what I want to be known as. When I retire from hockey, we'll see what my life heads to and where I go. I've got personal business. I own parts of 20 racehorses, and I own 20% of a professional football team in Canada. So I've got all these different avenues of what I want to do. The day I retire, believe me, the first thing I will do is go golfing. I think we've proven that with the right marketing and the right people behind an organization, that hockey can be successful in the United States. And we do have a great product, and I think we, meaning the NHL within, has to believe that too. And I don't know if they've believed that for a long time, for whatever reason, because it is a great sport.
And then last night, just when you thought you've seen everything, a fight of styrofoam proportions. The mascots of Stanford and Cal, a tree and a bear, had to be separated. This is not for the faint of heart. Those magnificent, mauling, marauding mascots. The Cal Bear, short, stout of heart, light of head, has the ability to take a punch, and once actually fought to a draw with Arizona's Wilbur the Wildcat. The Stanford Tree, tall, aggressive, a dog's best friend, ageless, timeless, who promised to tear the bear limb from limb. As the opening bell sounded, the tree came right at the unsuspecting bear and delivered a short, compact left smack dab on the snoot. Watch again in slow motion. They say the most powerful punches in boxing are the ones that travel the shortest distance. Round one to the tree. Although shaken up, the Cal Bear, a grizzled veteran, took the advice from the corner in round two. Cheat. No bare knuckles required. Go right for the legs. And that's precisely what the Bear did. First question. What's with the tree's trunks? Second question. Should they stop the fight? Oh, the carnage, the humanity. It's over. It's over. The Bear, clearly shaken, doesn't know which way to leave. He's escorted from the premises. And I ask you, is this any kind of an example for young, aspiring mascots across the United States of America?
Charlie, that could be your best fight coverage yet.
1-0, but Mike Morin brought the Lakers back with his 13th. Felsner and Sean Tillett.
Having gone 13 without a loss. They did take a loss last night, and they didn't like it. They'll try and rebound against Buffalo tonight.
Of shape. That took about a week to rectify, and look at this. He's allowed 2 or fewer goals. Can you believe this? In 53 of his last 72 decisions. He is amazing, and he is absolutely on top of his game, doing the same kind of numbers this year as he did last year. Now, the guy that he's going to have to defend against is the #1 scorer in the NHL, Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr said, yes, it helped our team knowing that Mario Lemieux was not going to be here. Jagr has stepped it up. For the past couple of years, he has shown us flashes of brilliance. Jaromir Jagr this year is a dominant hockey player. When he is on the ice, the puck has his name on it because it belongs to him.
There's also another.
Went down their starting goalie. All eyes went to Reget. All he's done is go 12-1-1, and it's not like he's playing against a team that plays a trap or smothering defense. Look at the number of shots, 34.4 against average every game. Reget, one of the big reasons Pittsburgh's into this big start, and one of the most popular players in that locker room, and they're having a great time on this roll.
Now we have those games.
Is that incredible? We know they're a trap team, so they stress defense, but even when they get their chances, they can't put them away.
Jennings working at a wing position, dumped it in front, shot. McEachran partially fanned on it. Hasek knocked it away to the side.
Lemieux, but you know, in discussing the Pat LaFontaine situation, you mentioned, Gary, that it's up in the air. It's absolutely up in the air. Pat LaFontaine is rehabbing on long. Tom Barrasso with the #1 guy when Tommy Barrasso went to
the best in the National Hockey League in that department, and not so bad defensively. Dropped back into the middle. Mike Hudson. Hudson back. McEachran shot it wide. Sean McEachran on the off-wing side gunned it, but he missed the net. Swoboda knocks it a little deeper. Coming back is Dean Melanson, where he missed the net. Swoboda knocks it a little deeper. Coming back is Dean Melanson, wearing 3 for Buffalo, his first NHL game. Lost it down low. There's Dominik Hasek once, twice, and he covers it up. And there's the story of the Buffalo Sabres. Chances for the opposition, lots of shots, and Dominik Hasek with incredible saves.
Well, he had to make an incredible save. I think his guys kind of cheated on the transition. They got up near the blue line, and as a result, when the Penguins came back at him, it was a 3-on-1 in front of him. Watch, see the 4 Sabres in front? That play will come back in. It goes all the way around. Now, look at the Sabres jumping out of the zone here. Whoop, right back in. In my mind, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Quebec Nordiques exact a higher...
Randy Minton and Mark Wheeler are working the lines with him here tonight. Perry goes to the net. Perry, the backhander, just wide of Hasek. You'll see a lot of missed nets tonight with Hasek in net. Shooters try and fine-tune it so much. The rookie to play on this line in place of Francis Mogilny. Stood up by Shel Samuelson as he tried to wheel around.
He gave him his best move. He gave him the between-the-legs spin-around move, and Big Sammy didn't go for it.
Chase down Bodger, who backs it up through center. Buffalo Sabres strike the other way. No score. It's 14:54 to go here. Howard Chuck in. Shot! And that one hit the post. And Ricochet.
Ooh, if you're going to turn it over, you don't want to turn it over to Alexander Mogilny. But luckily, the bigger of the Samuelsons was back there and turned it back over again.
There he
tell, especially at age 36.
Himmeleb comes to the shot. Save made by Reget down low. Good play by Himmeleb to Howard Chuck. Bodger waiting along the point. Won't get a chance as it was dumped out the center by Schmeling.
No kidding. Not only at regular strength, but this is where the Penguins' depth will come in. Take a look at this last save here by Kenny Reget. Dale Hawerchuk tried to get it out front. And Reget's so unorthodox. People are afraid of him. They have to coach him because he never really stays square. He's always sort of at an angle. But Ronnie Francis will be sorely missed.
Still pushing each other. away from one another. Rob Ray and Grant Jennings.
No, Jennings stood in with him. I mean, Rob Ray is a guy that fights even more than Grant Jennings, but Jennings kind of stayed in and really sort of forced the issue on this. Rob Ray doesn't tie his shoulder pads down. See that? He's got no underwear on. He hopes. Look at his jersey's coming off. It's a rule this year. If you take your jersey off intentionally, you end up with a 2-minute minor. But Rob Ray just likes to bend over and then hopes that the other guy will pull his jersey off. Well, guess what? Halfway isn't good enough.
These teams vary dramatically in penalty minutes. Buffalo spends most of its time at even strength. They are third in the league in fewest penalty minutes.
Sooner or later, and he never wears any underwear under it, any top, sweatshirt or anything. Now watch this. Jennings kind of stays there. Look, Jennings takes him to the boards again, and Jennings is still going after him.
Jennings could easily get an instigator for that if they wanted to give him one.
And into the changing room has gone Rob Ray. He looks like he took a left of took either a right or a left, but his right eye is pretty red.
They get 5 for fighting. Nobody gets the nice intercept far side, hit by Zhitnik. Sabres getting Zhitnik in the deal from L.A., and he's getting lots of playing time on it. Hannon down the middle, a little room. Backhand shot knocked away by Reggett to the corner. Taglianetti over to get it, and the net comes loose. That may be Howard-Chuck moving in, dropped it off, shot, save made by Reggett after Samuelson had turned around, ripped wide of the net by Zhitnik. He was all alone in the slot, and he didn't get it on net. Oh, mercy, what a chance he had there. McEachran by Bodger. Buffalo changing on the power play unit down the middle, shot, great save by Reggett, went wide of the net. Tremendous opportunity. Donald Audette, Derek Plant coming off the bench, right down the middle, nobody there.
I don't know.
There by Derek Plant, knocked down by Plant. Plant comes away with the puck. Full strength now intercepted in the middle. Mullen shot, Hasek the save. And you already see why these two goaltenders are having the years they are.
And you already see why Pittsburgh in and gambled and won the gamble.
Don Cullen came in, but he's offside and a fight at the other end. Ooh!
That is Chris Tamer, number 2, and Brad May from the Buffalo Sabres. Brad May signed big money after last year and has been really getting hit hard by the Buffalo media because he hasn't been scoring, but he's hitting hard with his hands in this one. Ooh.
Tamer has already been thrown out of one league. In the minor leagues, he took not only a game, he took a season penalty. But after he got suspended for the season, he got called up by the Pittsburgh Penguins for fighting penalties here.
Boy, great saves at both ends in this one already with Reggett and Dominic Hasek. I want to show you that breakaway that Donald Audette had. He's coming off the bench. Look at Taglianetti. You would think he could see Donald Audette because he's right there in front of him. That's why I said, see the bench in the background? Got to yell at him. Let him know he's coming. Terrific save by Kenny Reggett. See Kenny Reggett when he goes down, he has a 5-hole, but he blocks it kind of unusually with the paddle of his stick. Even Kenny Reggett admitted this morning, he said, you know, I've got kind of an unorthodox style, and every year I think it changes a little bit. I'm not quite sure how, but it changes.
As long as it works, right?
Yeah.
With Barry in the middle. Yager, Bodger on him. Yager trying to muscle. Good play by Bodger. Big hit as he would not let him turn. Doug Bodger, the veteran D, still controlling. No, that's what Pittsburgh does so well. Behind the net, Robitaille to Yager. Yager wraparound shot. Hasek made the save. Rebound in front. Robitaille tried to pick it up. It was bouncing on him. And Himmelhoff plays it, but a penalty.
Yeah, you might be able to hang him up on the boards for a couple of seconds, but sooner or later he's going to get loose, and that's what happened. He almost always generates a scoring chance.
Murphy able to hold it in. Great hold. Shot from the point. Save made by Dominic Hasek. They've got Chris Joseph working that on the point now. Robitaille batted it up in the air. Yager sent it right through the middle. What a pass by Robitaille, who knocked it out of midair. Robitaille gets it back. Power play for Pittsburgh. Yager's the man in front. Robitaille shot. Blocked and deflected wide. Hit off a D. Joseph at the point, waiting near side. Presley intercepts, though, and sends it out.
When your knees aren't working right, and your body certainly doesn't either, so Peter Svoboda's healthy. Where's this play by Luke Robitaille we talked about? The pass out to John Cullen. Robitaille knocked it down, didn't want to wait till it landed on the ice. Pretty decent hand-eye coordination. And a move by Yager that looked like a shot. I don't think that was a pass. One of the differences on this power play, Ronnie
Wide. Bodger may have gotten the pieces that went by. Larry Murphy dumps it in the corner. 5-on-3 power play. Murphy again playing the point as they spread it out. Sandstrom save Hasek. Cullen on the far side. Murphy will get there first, guarded by Hanna. Standing play to get it back down along the boards. Robitaille. Cullen back up for Murphy. 18 on the two-man advantage. Over to Cullen looking for Robitaille high. Back to Murphy. Shot, one-timer, went right through the creases. Jágr tried to tip it. Sandstrom near side, set it on the two-man. Murphy deep, they sag back. Sandstrom shot and a save. Hasek looked behind him, but he had squeezed it shut.
Well, Sandstrom was a little closer on that shot. He had taken another blast a few seconds.
Dropped it, Jágr the move, shot, save, I think, by Hasek. Looked like he got it with a stick, and it deflected high to the near side corner. Jágr backs it up for Cullen. Cullen had Sweeney on him, back for Sandstrom. 50 on the power play. Robitaille is set up in the middle, high slot. Pittsburgh really spreads it out. Moves it in, shuts it down. Samuelson, back to him. 20 on the power play. The box being held here by Buffalo. Shot, Naslund saves Hasek. Rebound, loose, no, he's got it. Just to be sure, they deck Naslund. Hannon came over and decked him after Hasek had made the save outside of the crease.
Now, Dominik Hasek and Kenny Reagan have one thing in common, unorthodox styles. A couple of the Penguins players, Jágr and Martin Straka, this morning, as you look at Hasek on this save, they said, they laughed every time they described him. And I said, what's the matter? Don't you like him? Or is he that funny? He said, no, his style is funny. And they didn't mean it in a derogatory sense because they really respect him as a goalie. But they laughed every time they talked to him. They said, we'll be laughing at him on the bench tonight. Ooh, there's that shot by Jágr, and he did get a piece of it with his left arm.
They say, the Buffalo people say, he's settled down a little more this year than in past seasons because he's got that stick routine the goaltenders are using now, where you drop that stick on the ice and move it around in front of you whenever any shots go. Zhitnik shot. That hit Shell Samuelson. No, I'm sorry. It hit Plant. Down low. Center. Hawerchuk looking in. Backhander, and he missed it wide. And what a shot Hawerchuk just took to the face as Mike Hudson gloved him going by. Zhitnik near side. Down low shot. In front, block save. Reagan, and he covers long enough to get the whistle, even though it squirts free, with Derek Plant being denied.
Boy, Kenny Reagan was incensed because Dale Hawerchuk poked at him after he had the puck really completely smothered, and Reagan got such a good shot in on Dale Hawerchuk. He snapped his stick right in two, right where the shaft meets the paddle. And before he did that, before Hawerchuk poked away at it, did Ken Reagan ever make two terrific saves? Well, there's the shaft part of it. There it goes.
Other games in the National Hockey League, I don't know why. Oh,
baby. I can't believe he got up. What the torque. The torque that Zhitnik ended up getting on his stick. I'm surprised he's got back up after that, Gary. Helmets are pretty good, but they're not like football helmets and suspended off your head. I mean, they actually fit tight to your head with some padding in there.
He's still out there. Zhitnik looking back up to Hawerchuk at the point now. Centered it. Reed. Quick read by Shell Samuelson. He deflected that on Reagan himself as he went to block the pass.
And you know what? It might have been the lesser of the two evils. If he doesn't get it, because it wasn't going very fast, if he doesn't get it, it goes right into the goal line. It was an attempted pass by Hawerchuk, so didn't have much steam on it. And McGillney was right at the corner of the net. Well, if Samuelson doesn't deflect that, may have been a better scoring chance.
Shell playing at a plus 14 this season. You get a lot of pluses on this team, of course. Jágr's at a plus 16. Francis a plus 14. Samuelson at a plus 11. Roll just wide of the net. Attempted steer by Donald Audette.
Now you know that there's going to be an outnumbered situation low on a 5-on-3 Shell. Samuelson deflected that one again. And McGillney took two swipes at it and missed it. He's got to go to the Luc Robitaille School of Bunting.
Get your stick up. Move your hand.
Missed it that one. Well, I'll give him the...
Face-off, Derek Plant moves in to take it against Mike Hudson. Former New York Ranger Hudson with the Stanley Cup champions. Plant back, Hawerchuk shot, save again Reagan. Now we're down to a one-man advantage with 33 seconds left on Pittsburgh's second penalty.
I got to tell you, them all yesterday, Kenny Reagan is at the other end making these kind of saves.
The air deflected, never got in on net. Reagan covers, Hannon went behind him. Puck loose in the corner. Now there's a whistle as the Nets.
He is the guy that made it happen. Kenny Reagan made a skate save, tried to smother it, couldn't. Whose arm is that? Now, whose arm is that? Well, we can see him through the mesh. Who is that? It is Chris Joseph.
Fortunately for him, the whistle had already blown.
Yeah.
He could have had an intentional in the crease with the puck and a penalty.
Look at the reach to try to get it back. Full extension of that 39-inch sleeve.
An amazing player with a minute to the point. Gipnik dropped it off. Intercepted by McEachran. Sean McEachran. Here's a 2-on-1, 1-on-0. Hudson save. Rebound. Flipped away. Dominic Hasek. Nobody on him. Ended up being a 2-on-1 McGillney. The other way to Himolev. Himolev in the off shooting.
Highlights of this one from the Civic Arena for you. Luc Robitaille had just 3 goals in his first 10 games. First period, Jaromir Jagr the shot, Jeffries the stop, and Luc Robitaille time for a cup of coffee. Robitaille won, the Whalers nothing. 1-1 in the second. Jagr to Robitaille. Off the skate, in the net. They count it. Robitaille 2, the Whalers 1. Later in the second, Jagr in the corner. Robitaille spins, fires, short side, hat trick. Robitaille 3, Whalers 1. Still in the second, Jagr to Francis. Might want to check those guys. 4 goals for Luc, 4 assists for Jagr. And the Penguins would all be talking Nordique hockey. At 11-1 in Philadelphia, the Lindros and the Flyers weren't intimidated. Second period, Gilbert Dion slides to Rod Brind'Amour. And Brind'Amour racing in, beats Stefan Facette. Nord's up 2-1 at this point. Brind'Amour had a goal and an assist. Less than a minute later, Nord's great passing. Facette, long outlet to Wendell Clark. Clark backhand pass to Joe Sakic, and he scores the goal. Nordiques win 4-2. Facette had 38 saves, and the Nords do win their 7th straight. Habs and Rangers from the Garden. Rare sight. Patrick Waugh got a night off. Ron Tugnutt in goal. Second period, another Messier milestone. Brian Leetch, Mark Messier.